We totally complain about it, the weather. But have we come to the point where we can control the weather? Technically, that's still too good to be true, but the winds might be changing. Let's talk about cloud seeding. It's described as the enhancement of natural precipitation.
To explain how cloud seeding works, we need to first talk about clouds.
Clouds are a bunch of water droplets or ice crystals floating in the sky. The water droplets are too small to fall as precipitation, but they are large enough to form the clouds we see. In most parts of the world, these droplets are supercooled, meaning they're below freezing, but they remain liquid. Now, sometimes these droplets are just milling around, pushing past each other and not sticking together, kind of like a missed connection. Other times, these droplets bump into each other, like commuters on a train during a busy rush hour. The water vapors collide and stick to particles floating in the air. It could be dust, smoke particles, or even meteoric debris. Those are known as condensation nuclei.
So cloud seeding can produce what we want more or less of, more snow, more rain, or smaller hail pellets.
This is done by introducing a seeding agent through pyrotechnic flares attached to an aircraft. Think Roman candles with a mission to deliver those condensation nuclei that encourage more collisions and group huddles by ice crystals inside the cloud. Common seeding agents used are dry ice, the solid form of carbon dioxide, silver iodide, or simple salts like sodium chloride. Seeding agents act as additional ice nuclei. In the case of silver when silver iodide is used in a cloud, water droplets begin to give up water vapor and shrink. At the same time, the ice crystals already present in the cloud collect this moisture and grow. As ice crystals bang into other ice crystals, they become larger and heavier until they fall from the cloud. So why would we even want to do this? Who does it benefit?
In the wintertime, increase in snowfall is a very significant value add to organizations like hydropower companies.
Idaho Power Company, for example, is interested in having more snowfall during the winter because this produces more runoff in the springtime for hydroelectricity. Wineries, such as ones in Mendoza, Argentina, have also used cloud seeding to protect their vineyards from damage through hail suppression. And lastly, insurance companies like ones in Alberta fund cloud seeding projects in order to lessen damage claims they receive. So how much does it cost? Well, the cost can vary. Hail is the most expensive, rain projects less expensive, running $200,000 to $1 million a year, and that might produce an extra 1.5 to 4.5 meters of snow in the mountains, or an extra 50 to 125 millimeters of rain in the summer.
And you compare that to what is in the market price for water, or comparable technologies in creating more surface and groundwater, that is desalination, groundwater recharge, some of these or even building dams and infrastructure, we're a fraction of that cost.
So now that we know how it works, here are some myths busted. Why don't they cloud seed to extinguish forest fires? Because you can't create rain with cloud seeding. You can only enhance clouds that are already present. Can cloud seeding resolve droughts? Not really, because all precipitation requires clouds. If it's already dry, there won't be enough moisture to rise in the air. No clouds, no extra moisture, no chance of enhancement. However, what can be done is to increase snow production and rainfall when there are clouds to work with. In other words, it needs to be preemptive. But does it work? In 2008, Beijing claimed that they made it rain early with cloud seeding to ensure blue skies with the Olympic opening ceremony. In contrast, the American Meteorological Society released a statement in 2010 saying there's still uncertainty whether current cloud seeding techniques actually work to achieve the desired changes in precipitation. According to the World Meteorological Organization, 52 countries have a weather modification program, and many of them continue to boost funding for such operations, all in an effort to perhaps one day control the weather.
The UAE is one of the driest countries on Earth, with an annual rainfall of roughly 120 millimeters. As a result, it has to get creative when it comes to finding solutions for water. In the early 2000s, the UAE started performing regular cloud seeding operations. Cloud seeding is the process of increasing the amount of rain produced from clouds.
Some of these clouds by nature, sometimes it rains, for example, only 40 to 50% of its rain that processed in the cloud that comes as rainfall. So by these operations, we try to increase this amount by, for example, from 15 to 30%.
So how does it work? It starts here, inside the National Center of Meteorology, where a team is constantly monitoring forecasts, looking for potential clouds to seed. The operations only work with cumulus clouds, which are vertical in shape.
Research 5 operation, can you read me?
Once they spot a cloud, they radio the pilots, who then take to the air armed with hydroscopic flares filled with a mixture of potassium chloride, sodium chloride, magnesium, and other materials. It's essentially salt. When the plane reaches the right clouds, the pilots release the flares.
These salts basically attracts the moisture and try to make it condense. So these particles becomes nuclei of condensation, and then when these droplets condense, and then they hit each other, and then they form a bigger droplet that the air cannot hold it any longer in the air, so it forms as rain.
In 2017, the UAE performed 242 cloud seeding operations. The government is confident the operations are increasing the amount of rainfall, but it's difficult to gauge.
Until now, there is no way that you can measure the success rate for each individual cloud. There are no two clouds are the same, and you don't know, for example, before actually you see the cloud, is it going to rain by itself or not, and by how much?
In the UAE, unexpectedly passed rare showers. Rainy clouds covered almost the entire metropolis of Dubai. In some parts of the city, the water flooded the roads. Strong gusts of wind were heard in the streets of the city. They also reported rains. There was difficult traffic on the road. On a rainy day, you can see overcast skies and the sparkling Burj Khalifa. This weather could last a couple more days.
Okay, we are all welcome to today's live stream. Let me just hold on this first. We are all welcome to today's live stream. This is Dad Setro, the most handsome, capable African Ishos, elderly pumping a physical husband. And as usual, every Sunday like this, we come with topical issues across the globe, looking at factors that are disturbing both humanity and the world at large, and how we can provide solution to it. And today we are looking at something very, very fantastic, which most of the time we look at the world turning out with some unusual challenges actually created by man, either knowingly or unknowingly. But today, we want to look at this topic in which we are going to be asking numerous questions as with respect to when human begin to tamper with nature. Are we tampering with nature to our advantage and to the best of our human existence and security, or we are tampering with nature and probably bringing more damage to the atmosphere? So today we have Dr. Ojo with us. We want Dr. Ojo to introduce himself so that we can go right into the topic of today. And unplanned, we are wearing the same. This is just a wonderful coincidence.
You definitely have to pay me for that. Wearing my color. At the same time, without notifying me ahead of time. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Today is today's Mother's Day.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I can see it. This is the right color for them. So most mothers love red, apart from pink.
Yeah.
Yellow. So happy Mother's Day to all beautiful, wonderful, great and virtuous women and mothers out there. I want to start by that. So we love you guys all over the world. There cannot be this world without mothers, without women. So definitely appreciate you guys for all you do. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Beautiful mothers and and women out there.
Wow.
So I remain Dr. Ojo, Doctor of Business Administration, with a lot of years of experience, and also active duty service member, and I'm also a coach. I do a lot of stuff, so I just leave it for that, like that for now. So, but I'm humbled to be here, and I'm excited to be part of this show tonight. And I hope all the audience out there will learn one or two things. So I'm excited to begin, even though I won't stay too long tonight.
But it's nice having you, Dr. Ojo. So jumping right in, Madam Claudia, I can cite you. You're saying, wow, need a red shirt. Yes, definitely. You're going to get your shirt very soon. Okay.
I think I should send one to her because it's closer now. I just got this package after how many years?
Jesus.
Yeah, I just got it. It was like, is it 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that? Yeah.
My goodness.
But that's a story for another day. But I can definitely get her one. We talk after the show, Madam Claudia.
Okay, that would be lovely. Okay, now we are looking at something that has to do with human existence, and it is so funny the way the whole world seems not to be paying attention to the fact that despite the numerous needs at different geographical zones, most of the time when we tamper with nature, how well are we tampering with this nature that will not backfire in the long run? And that is why today we are considering cloud seeding and global environmental hazard. We want to see if there is relationship between environmental hazard, if there's any relationship between the global environmental hazard and cloud seeding. And in the long run, by the time we are almost wrapping up, we'll also be bringing up a typical video in which you are going to be seeing how 2 young Africans decided to walk in favor of nature. I'm going to buttress that. There is a video of 2 youths in Africa that have done a study to the for the production of diesel without going through the normal route, but by taking leftover bioplastic and the likes and converting them to diesel. But today, this time around, we are asking ourselves this question: is there any relationship between cloud seeding and global environment? But the first thing is, what is actually this cloud seeding? And that is why I started with this video that was doing a lot of explanation about cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is simply the process in which numerous countries around the world, they are trying to create some kind of artificial favorable weather condition for themselves, like creating artificial snow, artificial rain, and the likes. When I say artificial, it's not really artificial in such manner, but it's just like inducing, when you are inducing a woman that is pregnant to labor, it's like inducing the environment, inducing the atmosphere to release the already coagulating moisture that are in the air through the use of salt. So we are going to see a little bit about that, but we want to ask ourselves the question in the long run. Based on the fact that we have some countries that usually record low level of rainfall across the year, but because of this cloud seeding, they have been able to generate rain multiple times, even to the extent of even getting snow delivered at their doorstep. Now they are now recording erosion, which is contrary to the typographical setup of their country. We are going to talk about using United Arab Emirates as an example. In fact, there's a video that is showing over flooding and the likes happening across some of this region. Now, Dr. Ojo, when it comes to cloud seeding, can you tell us a little bit of what you know about cloud seeding, and if you are okay with that system of generating rain across arid regions?
Yeah, you've said it all. It's just a process of inducing the moisture that is already present in the space, in the air, in an attempt to generate artificial rain or snow and all those stuff that is needed by certain people in certain region. So it's literally, if I'm going to talk from the military standpoint, I would say it's just a way. The process is just by shooting silver bullets into the space, into the atmosphere. Silver bullets being that the ingredient that is being used mostly, right? Iodide, silver iodide is pretty much the ingredient that is we can just call it bunch of salt. Chemically produced salt, specialized one, and then take it into a big aircraft, fly it over the space in the air, and then dump it in the air, or some take it to a very top mountain top, and then from the top of the mountain they release it into the air, and then from that, with that process, the already present moisture that is already in the atmosphere, in the air, with that salt mixing together, it's caused that kind of like catalytic reaction that bring about, creation and generation of snow and rain. So it's called artificial rain because it doesn't. The process seems to be the kind of natural process, but it's man-made. That's why it's called artificial, even though it's closer to the natural process of rainfall. Because we know from the physics and the chemistry that, as the sun strikes the surface of the ground, the process and the what do we call it? The dust and all the stuff that rises from the ground as the sun strikes it, right? It goes into the cloud, and when you get to the cloud there, that's how the reaction takes place, and that's how rains are naturally created by the universe, by God and stuff like that, right? But now man, being wise and being intelligent in his own way, started looking at ways to enhance it, to enhance that process, to it's like adding catalyst to the already to a slow process, or to a process that they think is slow in some area or is not even happening, adding catalyst to it to speed up that rate of reaction, to increase it. And it has its advantage and disadvantage, of course, but let me let you continue.
Okay, you are just doing fine, fantastic with that. But I quickly want to ask this question. We are mentioning numerous chemicals and the likes, despite the fact that we usually use a simple word like salt, iodize, or what have you. This element that is being added to the clouds that are coagulating so that they can drop and give droplets to arid regions. Don't we think that there might be a side effect to all this addition to nature?
Yeah, of course. Anything that is not naturally produced could has its own side effect. It all depends on how much we mess around with it, on how much we engage in such a process or experiment, right? It all depends on how much. A little may not cause so much harm because the universe is so big, right? And the universe has a way of taking care of itself, of replenishing and stuff like that, right? So if it's just done in a certain region and in like a low at a low level, right, the other part of the universe can probably circulate around and then take care of whatever damage has been caused, or maybe the damage might not even be obvious. But if human being engage in such at a very large scale, and if it become rampant around the world, then that's where there is danger. Of course, now we know that some of the regions that are clamoring for it, that are engaging in the use of those methodology are the known desert-like region, like you mentioned, the United Arab Emirates, the Middle East, and the likes of it, right? So those areas are known to be region that are closer to, they're like desert-like, tropical region that are desert-like in their in their own space over there. So they definitely need some form of rainfall, some form of way to generate water to cool down their environment and to grow their trees, their grass and stuff like that, to have a normal life, right? So why it is very, very useful or could be of advantageous to those people and that region, still in the long run it could also cause a lot of damage. So definitely yes, the process that is being used when engaged in large scale definitely could cause a lot of harm because of the chemical that are involved and all those stuff.
Okay, with that being said, let me just share a little bit of this video with us. In this video, you are going to be seeing this is Dubai. This is UAE. We are talking about a place that is arid in nature. We are talking of desert kind of places, and they are beginning to record this level and this volume of water. This after the rainfall and the likes. How I wish I could just unmute so that you can listen to a little bit of what they are saying there. If this is happening in the UAE, where they are supposed to have some high level of hot temperature, desert, lack of rain and what have you, and they are now beginning to generate excessive rainfall to the extent that they are having their street being flooded, to the extent that it's now even going into erosion. Now, what will be the impact of this to the general water bodies that is spilling across other countries that are already in wet nature? That should be a call for concern. It's just a simple mathematics for us to look at here, because majority of the time we are shouting that there is environmental hazard, there is this environmental degradation, planning for this and that. But if we sit back and we begin to look at this, I think much study should go into this to see the level of impact. You can imagine you are talking of UAE, they are experiencing stuff like this to the extent that cars are covered in water and the likes. I feel there should be a regulatory body that should do a proper summary of this, and where there is needed caution to be placed. If there is establishment of relationship between this cloud seeding and environmental hazard, environmental degradation, then there should be a way to monitor and to put checks and balances in place, because this might be causing more challenges than we can ever imagine. They even reported at some specific places hailstones being dropped, hailstones being dropped. They are talking about some places having snow being dropped. And I find that interestingly shocking. Interestingly shocking, because these are not the usual places that you will ever think that such situation will be found. And I must say this: kudos to the Dubai, kudos to the UAE. They are doing a whole lot to make sure that life is easier for them, and they are trying to see how they can manipulate this weather. But as we are trying to manipulate the weather to your benefit, we should also look at the inclusive condition of the whole world, the spillover effect to not just your country now, but across the globe. I think there should be a proper study conducted on this so that they can be regulated. Even a particular research states that cloud seeding is being carried out by over 56 countries in the world. So if over 56 countries in the world, I stand to be corrected, if over 56 countries in the world are already venturing into cloud seeding, and I can tell you, if it is not well monitored, if it is not properly controlled, we can have a situation whereby it can lead to what I call tsunami. I'm not a scientist. That's just my own view, my layman expression and view, because if I can have a desert region showing up like this, if I can have a desert region showing up like this, having recording flood, excessive flood like this, then what will now happen to places like, the African or the other Western world, the coastal regions of the world, where they already have wet grounds and the likes? That might be spelling a very, very dangerous moment for us. So, Dr. Ojo,
yeah,
I'm sure you travel a lot and you would have seen much of this Dubai. I'm sure you have seen some places. Have you been to Dubai before?
Apparently not. I'm hoping to get there someday.
Okay, because I was surprised, because I was seeing some places there that I am sure the last time we went there, such places, they are so hot, so hot. And I'm shocked that if Dubai can record this level of water, if this cloud seeding is not properly monitored, then it might be something else. But with that being said, let's shift away from cloud seeding a little bit, because what we are looking at, we are just picking cloud seeding as the major concern here. We are like if you look at the thumbnail to this discussion, we are looking at a world that is being mutilated by we human beings in the process of trying to play with nature, in the process of trying to control nature. How are we sure that we are not destroying ourselves? Because in the process of tampering with what nature would have calculated, because I believe nature is a very good statistician, and it would have calculated that, okay, this number of so clouds should drop at this particular period in time, so that the water base on the groundwater, the underground water can be absorbed at so time t and time a or what have you. But when human beings just get there, because I feel I need irrigation on this land and I need this place to be cool, and you alter it, it might always backfire. So we go to the next country. There was this country also that was mentioned within the week. What country was that? I think they just finished with their festival. Is it Cuba or something? They just finished with their Brazil just finished with their Brazil just finished with their festival and what have you. And they also recorded massive landslides, erosion, and the likes. So if you begin to bring 1 + 1 together, it's always going to give you 2, unless you are now thinking, calculating in another way to say 1 + 1 is 11, just like INEC is doing to us in Nigeria. So if that be the case, if we are recording landslide here, tsunami here and there, what role can we play? Now, Dr. Ojo, I want to believe that that which is occurring in Brazil was not as a result of cloud seeding, but we can also relate to the fact that the whole world is connected one way or the other. So if there is any particular location that is into cloud seeding and is not properly monitored, the volume of water on the planet, on the earth, might be too much for the ground to absorb. What do you think about this, my
Right. So before I even answer that, right, I know you mentioned that there need to be policies in place, research in place to let us know how this could impact the humanity and what effect they could have on us, and there should be regulation in place, right? So yes, it's also noted that like there's a publication by Laura Cole in 2022 on climate change, and she kind of expatiated on the silver bullet and how things could go wrong, how cloud seeding could go wrong, right? So she definitely made it known that as early as 1965, that the National Science Foundation called for urgent social science research to look into the impact of weather modification, right? Stating that developing all this technique of modifying climate, and cloud seeding and the rest of it could have negative impact on humanity. So that research is really right there, and also even that research was clearly stated that not so much attention is paid to this area of, geopolitical research compared to other, right? But it's very, very crucial that attention is paid to this area as well, because it could have a long-term consequence on humanity, on our environment. So, and I also want to quickly mention that even this adventure, even though it's a worthwhile, it's beneficial and advantageous to those parts of the country, to those parts of the world, of the globe that experience drought and experience a desert-like atmosphere and weather. The invention was actually discovered or invented by Vincent Schaefer, way back in the around 1940 or so, right? And he was out of his own curiosity, on experimenting with snow skating and all of those, and see, how you can experience and so through that curiosity was how he invented that kind of techniques for generating artificial snow and stuff like that. Of course, this person was we have record has it that he's a self-taught chemist. So he must have been around very educated medical personnel or stuff like that to be a self-taught chemist, and for him to be able to invent cloud seeding, right? So, but going back to your question of how this could impact us, right? It is, I think it's important to look into the disadvantages or ways that cloud seeding can affect humanity or can affect our atmosphere and the Earth planet as a whole. From research findings, we are told that cloud seeding can lead to maladaptation, right? Can lead to maladaptation. It could also lead to increase in the level of atmospheric carbon dioxide, which we all know what consequence, what negative impact we could derive from that when there is an increase in the atmosphere of carbon dioxide, right? Then when you talk about the situation that is happening in Brazil and in Dubai, right, where they're having flooding and the rest of it, I think if we dig into it more and do more research on it, it might be one of the consequences of cloud seeding, right? Which is downwind impact. Downwind impact simply means moving in the direction of winds, right? So, for example, now if the wind is moving southward, right, and if you now send another object or produce an object that also generates wind or that also blow wind in that same direction, what do you think is going to happen, right? Those could cause it could cause flooding of a country, of a nation, even of the planet Earth, because if there are too much wind sent towards this Earth planet, right? Look, imagine the amount of water in the Atlantic Ocean. If there's too much wind sent in that direction, if the wind is blowing in that direction and there's more wind sent in that direction, meaning if there's a downward wind in that direction of the ocean, then it could push the ocean to escape and pass its boundary. And when that occurs, that's dangerous for man. So what we are experiencing, or what they are experiencing in those parts of the world, those flooding and stuff like that, those are little stuff. Imagine if it becomes really big, if it becomes really big and become really serious, and the ocean misses its boundary or escape its boundary. Look at the living organism and habitant of the ocean. If they get away with that large amount of flood, that's really dangerous for human being, right? So those are the things that could happen when they continue to produce cloud seeding in large quantity, right? It could lead to that downwind, it could lead to maladaptation, it could lead into acidification of the ocean as well, because we are talking about that chemical reaction taking place in the air through iodized silver iodide, right? Which we kind of say is kind of specialized salt, right? So they are all coming down, right? They go into the ocean, right? Whatever we drink, whether refined or purified, is still coming directly or indirectly from the ocean, right? The ground that the water that we are digging the water or they are tapping the water for is linked to the ocean one way or the other, right? So it's still going to come through us, and if we become so much, the other living beings could get destroyed, and they could also contaminate the earth. So it could get messy. It could really, really get messy and get out of control if things are not done. If policies are not put in place to check how this is being done out, to what extent it needs to be done. Because one thing to pay attention to is that cloud seeding is not only done in those parts of the world that is desert-like, right? Even in the United States, they are using it in some states, like Colorado, like California, like Wyoming, and quite a bit of state that they are doing. Which, of course, there's justification that they've been having experiencing droughts in those areas, right? But I don't know how serious it is that they have to engage in that kind of way of creating artificial rain and snow, or if it has to be controlled, how much they have to depend on that, right? So those are the things that we are talking about.
Okay. Even those that are into what's it called, winery, they are using cloud seeding to preserve their fruits. Now you can see, as much as because they want to preserve their fruits to prevent it from destruction and the likes, they want the condition around their seed, the seed they are using for their wine production, they want it to be very, very chilled, cold, and well preserved. So they're going to cloud seeding. And the other aspect that I saw that made me to to start laughing and to foresee a kind of possible danger in the future was when they even said some insurance company are also embarking on cloud seeding sometimes, because it prevents them from expanding it limits the level of insurance claims that comes to them, because when they cloud seed, it prevents opportunity for more accidents and the likes. When I saw that publication, I was just like, wow. So some can even be doing this because of the monetary profits, monetary gain that will be coming to them. So if that be the case, I just feel that the whole world needs to look at it very well. It's not just for the global arrangement to always be, oh, there is environmental degradation and the likes. Oh, Africa come and contribute. The whole world come and do this. Make sure you are taking care of planting trees and planting that. If we are just concerned about planting trees and planting plants or what have you, and we are altering nature, I tell you, the trees you are planting might end up being eroded by some of these floods and the likes. And that is why we want to bring it to this other phase, in which, why is man always interested in creating problem for nature? Because every problem we create for nature, we are creating it for ourselves. And it has also been well proven that large percentage of the flooding that happens in Africa, specifically I can mention that of Nigeria, and so many other African countries that are listening to their complaints in terms of erosion, flooding, and the likes, is generated by human activity, of which one of the greatest challenges is this non-destructive bottles, plastic bottles, the use of nylon and plastic bottles and the likes has been creating challenge for us. But while the whole world was still grappling with the side effect of these human activities, two young boys that lost their parents, two African boys that lost their parents at an early stage of their life. When the boy was talking about it, he said, poverty, pain taught them, gave them wisdom, gave them the opportunity to research. So they started researching into this recycled bottle, plastic, and the likes. Guess what they discovered? they discovered that they could now produce fuel. They could produce diesel from plastics, this non-destructive rubber plastic, what's it called? Nylons, recycled nylons, and the likes. And I just want to play the video for us to see. But I think they were speaking their African language. I will just probably interpret what they are saying. So, so these two guys discovered this. What they are seeing is diesel. These two boys, these two African boys, they are brothers. They produce this diesel from the same component that would have been causing atmospheric environmental challenges for us and for the whole world, because you see a lot of this non-degradable plastic. You see them overflowing the banks of the rivers in Africa, the oceans and the likes. The nylons are, even to the extent that there is research that was carried out that these nylons are even affecting the life of fish, of animals, the water bodies. But this young boy, this guy here with his brother, they were able to start collecting these plastics, this rubber plastic and the likes, high density plastic, low density, medium density plastic, and nylons. They were able to use it to start producing diesel, and that diesel is used in the generation of what? Electricity, provision of power and the like. So when I saw this, I'm like, at one end, some set of human beings, either directly or indirectly, they are negatively impacting the world, in which they are affecting the water bodies or the environment. But this young chap are helping out to provide solution. To provide solution is a two-way solution, because what they are doing now, they are creating a very cheap source of diesel production, and at the same time they are wiping off, they are reducing or removing from circulation those rubber plastics. See what you are seeing here, this is generated from plastics and nylons that would have cost recycled plastic and nylons that would have cost us much to do away with. So I'm now beginning to ask myself, Dr. Ojo, if this kind of a research that has been carried out, this young chap, they are dropout, in case you need to know, they are dropout, they couldn't further their education. I think they couldn't even finish their secondary school.
Yeah, high school.
So now they discovered this, and why can't, you can see what they are doing there. Why can't we, how can we assist youth like this to really do this on a large scale, so that we can use one stone to kill two birds? While they are producing alternative source of energy, they are also cleaning up the atmosphere, the environment.
Especially in Africa.
Dr. Ojo, over to you.
Yeah, so it's very, very important. I mean, that's what this foundation, Central Foundation, is all about, discovering those diligent, hardworking, neglected African youth, and helping them and building them up, training them on skills that can empower them to become useful to themselves, to the society, right? So that's what this foundation is all about. So I'm so glad that we are coming across things like this, because I think that's a very, very good adventure. That's a very, very good invention. That's a very, very, very intelligent, creative idea that he has put to action, right? So, and such should be encouraged, such should be promoted, right? So, like, I was actually asking if it's possible to actually discover these two guys, bring them to this our show, so we can actually hear from them in person, and the entire world can also hear about their, their journey to this creative discovery. I've not read or I've not heard of who other people that have actually invented diesel or crude oil from waste plastics. I've not heard it. I know they use waste plastic for a lot of stuff, but I've not read or heard of anyone that have done this before. So I give them kudos, even if they are not the first, because that's a lot of chemistry, a lot of engineering that they are actually put, they have actually demonstrated by what they have done, and such should not just be overlooked or pushed aside. But I think like the politicians that are just fighting around and just wasting their time going to the courts for what is not, I think this is what their job supposed to be, to discover persons like this, and all those money that they are just using to wasting for unnecessary could be used to develop someone like this and set up this manufacturing or this generation plant to be able to do more. And why the waste products could be harmful to aquatic animal when they get to the sea and to the rivers and to water, and it could decompose and contaminate the ground and be harmful to a human being, then they can, this is the climate control that we're talking about, that they could just take this to the next level, like it is being done in like a country like Germany, where everything is recycled. Like they have that system in place everywhere you go, school, home, hospital, street, everywhere they have where they put their dump stand, where everything is labeled: glass, wood, plastic, paper, and nobody messes with that, because you get fined, you get charged huge amounts when you violate the environmental law. And they have that system. So those are come to pick them up. When they are picking plastic, they are picking just plastic, and they can use it for whatever. So that's what the creative idea, the creativity that the rulers or the leader or whatever they call themselves need to be, thinking about, of how to take such invention as such hard work to a new level of empowering the person and even the entire country over there in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Creating rules, creating a system that, and it's just like, it's really, really mind blowing. And I think I'm really proud of the young boy, the two of them. And I'm really, really very eager to see how we can actually bring them to this show to actually hear their life testimony from them in person, if possible.
Okay. I think we've already noted this, and we'll try our best, because the states, they are located in a state not so far from us, but each of the Nigerian states, they are very big. He's not somewhere like a village that you can easily pick someone out. But we are going to try to reach out to our contacts in that particular state where they moved to, because they were from a different state. But when they lost their parent, they had to move to another location, which is Ibadan. And Ibadan is not very far to Lagos, where we are. So we'll try to see how we can reach out to them, possibly bring them on this show, and see how we can be of support, how we can generate support.
So that many
yes. So in case anyone that is watching this live stream sees these guys and their whereabouts, how we can reach them, please, will really be glad if we can get their contact, because as a family, we'll play our little part to see how we can push forward what they have decided to embark on, so that it is youths like this that should be supported. So we implore everyone that is coming in contact with this video to please share this video and ask the question that those that can help us link up to these guys, that there is a foundation a youth development foundation that is looking for them, that is looking for how to assess them so that we can bring them on board and see how we can rally support for them so that they can actualize their dream on a large scale. Because what these guys are doing is wonderful, is I want to say it's brandish. Yes, it's brandish. It's just unique. And
it's the solution the world needs at this time.
Because once you are able to provide power, and as you are providing power, you are removing environmental hazard. You are removing the plastics from the drainage, because Nigeria experienced a massive level of downpour late last year, flood last year, that almost wiped out several places in Nigeria. Different states witnessed this. Some persons almost lost their life, if not that some people even lost their life or so. So if we are able to support this level of youth, what it will do is, firstly, we'll discover that a lot of our drainages that are clogged up with all this nylon, all this recycled nylon, recycled plastic and the likes, they will now become source of income for some scavengers that will go get it and supply to this young chap in large quantity. And probably we can see somebody that will be so much interested in them and give a plot of land or hectares of land for them to to do what they are doing on large scale. And I tell you, apart from helping them, these are viable investments that Africans can invest into their youth.
How are we looking for oil? We look for what we have at our backyard. As in, we want to discover diesel fuel and everything, but this invention is great. He said they've used it in cars, in generators and everything, and no one has complained that it's affected their engine or not. Also, although further research will still be carried out to help them, but I think it's a great invention because it's really going to help us. All these fuel we are looking for elsewhere, it's just from all this waste and it's going to save lives. There will not be flood and all the likes. I just think I hope it will come up.
Yeah, it's very important to take care of our youth, our children, because the solution to the problem of this world lies in them. They have it. You won't believe it. Like this cloud seeding that we're talking about, from what we have on record, that Vincent Schaefer was the first person to invent it. It was through his observation and curiosity, right? That is set the stage for that invention. Just at 18 years old, watching the experience of playing in the snow, skating, and the rest of it, that curiosity was what led to that invention, right? From what record has, right? So, and then look at what this boy also has done with his brother, of creating this process or this method and techniques of generating crude oil or diesel that can power the automobile, that can be used to power a generator, to lighthouse and stuff like that, and at the same time, removing waste from the ground, such that could have contaminated the ground and the likes of it, right? So it's actually doing the cleaning of the environment at the same time, producing products that is valuable from it. You see what I'm saying? So this kind of invention need not to, by now I expected him to have been empowered. I expected someone to have discovered him from among all those people with those kind of money that they are having over there, to have discovered him, to have empowered him.
That's what so
the politicians that are stealing the money, if they use their brain really right, they won't steal money, because when they empower and invest in things like this, such things will generate so much money that nobody will question them.
Hello, sir. Hello,
That's
sir.
Mindset.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Do you know that most politicians are not human? They don't have human feelings. That's why they don't perform there. They just go there ceremonially. They don't. If you have passion for something, you will see that that thing is really workable. So I think we should just leave them out of the scenario. They don't have concern for the people they are leading. All they want is that power, and they want to amass wealth for their unborn generations. So if you're not concerned, if you're not touched by a situation, you can't provide solution in that situation. That you only solve problems that you are concerned about. So they are not concerned. So I just believe we should just reach out to concerned individuals and organizations.
Yeah.
Don't
So
be concerned about, because of the politicians. No, 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 no.
yeah,
Most
but
politicians
you know
never.
why we're saying this is this. Still have to say it in the sense that so that when they get to hear things like this, their conscience, maybe we someday wake up and prick them, and maybe they can feel bad or feel ashamed and stuff like that. And then when the youth that we're developing start coming up and start doing things like that, right? And that's another reason why we're saying it. So others won't follow that path. I won't see that that's the path. That's the best part, right? There are a lot of other good part. There's a lot of other way of doing things that can make you money, make you respected in the society, make you successful in life without following that wicked and corrupt practices. That's why we have to say this, so that the youth can also know and hear this, right? Because like I know in the United States, right? When I was in the state of Michigan, right? The government there, we pay citizens for contributing to power generation. When you generate electricity either through solar or wind or whatever means, they give you have to go through the normal process, right, and get license and stuff like that, right? They give you the authority and the permission that you can add whatever you don't use. So you could generate for yourself and use it for yourself, right? But if you generate more than what you are using and you get that permission, you're able to add it to the grid, then you get paid for it. So while other people pay for electricity, right, that they get from the government and use it, right, you get paid even much more than you will have paid for using the government home because you are contributing to the grid. So it's a way that they use to encourage inventors, citizens, and private bodies and individual to think, to do something, to not just help themselves but to help their country. You see what I'm saying? So someone like this is the reason why I'm saying is that someone like this should have been discovered by somebody who could have make him proud or make him happy and make him forget about the pain and the sorrow of losing his parents. Because I can see where he is still on the ground. There's a lot of safety issue over there. It's God has actually been protecting him and stuff like that, right? And we have professors in all the universities, and most of the universities over there, they study electrical, electronics, mechanical engineering and stuff like that, right? So even if the politicians are not actually thinking, what about the learned and the educated ones, right? So we have to say so that someone can get the message across to them and they can have a change of mindset and start looking and start thinking in a certain direction that this is what right look like. And this, if we do it, is actually not that we are helping anybody, we're actually helping ourselves. They're actually helping themselves, because this could lead to a very big and mega production plant and production industry that can solve a lot of power generation and the right and the like of it for a community or even a village or a town. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about.
The painful thing is that this particular story, I saw it covered by BBC, and it's surprising to me, or it will be a shock to me, if by now, after BBC have covered this story, that no Nigerian or no African has developed interest to get to even see what these youth are up to, even just throwing some little fun to just support them, put a little smile on their face that, oh, the world is actually watching, they are seeing what you are doing. Let's see how to push you further. If you are now convinced that this can go viral, as in when I mean viral, more productive to employ more youth and take them off the streets, then they pump in money. Because I'm just looking at all this. Whenever I see these youths, I see investment opportunity that so many people are not looking at. They don't have it in mind to invest. But you know what? Let's just quickly take a break. We want to appreciate some of those that have been supporting our foundation. We want to quickly take a break to appreciate some of those that have been supporting our foundation. I think last week, after the last week's stream, someone actually supported our foundation with about, I think, $25, and the previous week somebody did with 15 or so, or 2 weeks back. Okay, so let me just.
Did they use the GoFundMe?
Yes, please.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, please. So let me just let me share our screen so that we can appreciate them. Okay. I hope. Where's my GoFundMe page? Okay.
That's really great. We need more of people like that to support and help us. Like once we are able to get this boy and his brother, and we're able to bring in to live stream like this, we can do our own part to support them. Even if it's $100, it will do something for them, right? And
exactly.
That could be the beginning of great things for them, and we don't know what this could lead to, you know. So yeah, Africa just need to become wiser than they are right now, in the sense that the solution to their problem is right there. God has always, planted the solution to Africans' problem right there in Africa, but the people sometimes cannot see it. The people sometimes, out of hatred and whatever, they destroy their own solution, their own angel, their own Jesus, their own Messiah, or call it what. They destroy it, they kill them out of envy and hatred and nonchalant attitude and greediness. So that's why that part of the world is still where it is right now, because they just don't pay attention to what is important.
Dr. Ojo, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let me quickly appreciate those that have supported us this far on.
That's Evelyn
Silas.
Wow.
Evelyn Silas, we want to really appreciate you.
Thank you so very
much. You did this just last week. Last week, after our live stream, we really appreciate this. This will really go a long way to assist us in fulfilling our project. Then we have Julie Mitchell, did $15 1 month ago. We really appreciate you, and a whole lot of people that have been helping us. The list is endless. We really appreciate everyone this far. Okay, back to our discussion. And in case you are there, you want to support our foundation, I will just drop the link there. You don't need to rush. Go through our website, see project that we have executed, go through our link on GoFundMe, see what we have done so far with the little resources that is available. And if you are convinced with what we are doing, you can go ahead to chip in whatever you want to use in assisting the foundation. Our foundation is called Setros Foundation, and we really appreciate, and we look forward to getting brilliant youth like this that will come and do stuff that will really improve the motherland, Africa. Okay, so this is our link in case you want to support us with that. So Dr. Ojo, with that being said, we've just looked at two different angles. We are looking at the angle of the depletion of the ozone layer, environmental hazard, increasing the saltinization of the earth. We are looking at releasing too many salt into the atmosphere that is making the clouds to drop in form of rain or hailstone or snow. We have looked at the impact of cloud seeding, the negative impact and the positive impact of such. And on the other side, we've just opposed it with our youth, just two innocent young African youth that have decided to do what? To play positive role with Mother Nature, removing recyclable materials that would have constituted nuisance to the atmosphere, and thinking of what to use them in producing that will be of benefit to the whole world. And I tell you, the discovery of this youth is as encouraged us that there is still hope for Africa, there is still hope for the world. So in your own summary, what would be your advice to human as a whole? Because it is human that are always the catastrophic agent against the world that they are supposed to be protecting. What would be your advice?
Yeah, before I even give my advice, I think there's a man behind the scene that was trying to come live. I saw his face when I was talking originally. Yeah, it's like a white man. From what I saw his face, and he escaped me to say it then. If we still there behind the scene or in the audience, we will. I think we love to have him. We love to see him, to hear his opinion on the topic of discussion. So please come back and let us hear you post something. Let's make sure you are there where you are not neglected. We want to make sure we give everybody the chance to contribute on this educational platform. So is that him that just posted something now?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, so you said what will I tell the human being, right? So one thing is that human being, we are very wonderful, we are very complex, right? We are always evolving and we're not done. And there has never been a period like we are in right now in terms of anything and everything. Information, technology, discovery, like we are almost about to start flying without jets to the space. You know, that's the level where we are now. So I can't even imagine what's going to be happening next, you know. So it starts off that creativity that is already in us and the willingness and, you know, that desire to evolve, to express ourselves. We just want to discover ourselves and just, you know, so those are bringing out all kind of invention and, you know, so we really can't blame that. But as a matter of fact, I think why all those are very good, and out of those discovery and invention and creativity has come a lot of great, you know, technology, great discovery that has, you know, in medicine, in technology, in every area, engineering and the likes, right, that has helped solve a lot of problem and make life a better place. Still, we still need to like take caution with how we mess with the universe, because the truth is that the universe is a living thing, is a living being. There's nothing like living and non-living things, right? Everything is living. It just depends on the level and the frequency that they are operating. Nothing is dead. Nothing is non-living. Everything is living. So the universe is highly spiritual and is living, and it operates by laws and principles. And when those laws that govern the universe, when they are violated, when they are abused, then there is danger for humanity on earth, right? So we might have read a lot of revelation, had a lot of revelation, you know, about how this entire planet will be destroyed at some point, right? It's probably going to be caused by a human being out of curiosity and whatever, right? It's probably going to lead to it, because from history, we already know from history that even God doesn't do anything without man being involved, right? So because even the God lives in us, right? So it's always going to happen like that. There's always going to be an element of human being involved in whatever is going to cause any damage to this planet Earth. So we need to take caution as human beings. We need to be careful. We need to, express ourselves, research, and all of those, but be careful. And when we know that things are going to actually affect us adversely and it's going to negatively impact us and the universe and the planet Earth, then we need to reduce it. There need to be regulation, policies in place to checkmate who is doing what and to what extent. And if it is not needed in certain region, then it shouldn't even be a thing over there, right? And wherever it is needed because of their geographical location to help these things for them, then there should be regulation and policies in place also to checkmate them to make sure they are not abusing it and they are not doing it too much, right? And that's how we can make the world a better place, and that's how we can protect ourselves on Earth, so that way we don't just kill ourselves by ourselves, right? Because I don't know what this life is like in the next planet, but I know what's the name? Elon Musk is developing some spaceship and stuff like that. So if you guys want to mess it up here,
we just go there. I'm making a
bye to you guys. I'm going to this place where it's not messed up. So yeah, but seriously, we just need to be careful and not mess around too much and take caution when we know things are not gonna have a lasting positive impact on the universe. So that's that.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ojo, for that, your closing remark. So she's saying, immediately I looked at her, I wanted her to take the closing remark for tonight.
Somebody's posting something. Game nap me.
Whoa. Oh, plant pot people say other ship Earth. Whoa. Plant pot people. How do you mean other ship Earth? Okay. Okay, mothership Earth. Okay, lovely.
Mothership Earth.
Yeah, this is mothership Earth. That's why I want to believe the person that posted this is a female. That's why you people, you're always very, very happy to call more of anything that is being celebrated. You dedicate it to more of women. Mother's Day, Women's Day, International Women's Day, Women Wearing Glasses Day, Women Drinking Waters Day, Women Serving in U.S. Army Day. Women,
yeah, because this is women's world.
This is women's world.
This is women's world. The planet.
It's women's world.
Yeah.
So they are probably the cause of all the problems in this world.
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Well, how many billions do we have on Earth now? Without women, there's not going to be anything like that. And you know that without women, there won't be probably no creativity and no really fun life around here, because man, we just probably going to be walking and tilling the ground and be.
I take a second to that. You can see what she's doing now. You are giving her liberty. Before I got married to her, there was activities already. I was already active.
But the activities in a different level, right? They bring about that creativity, the feminism part of it, the fun part, the adventurous part, and you know they bring it.
Funny enough, I can do without women, except
of course,
my wife.
Of course. I mean, I'm sure I'm glad you say except, because I would have been like, of course you can do it, but you probably won't be having this kind of smiles. You probably would be so, worked out.
You can imagine
tired and.
No, you can imagine this world without women. It will be like having a world filled with area boys without focus.
I'm serious. So we definitely have to appreciate them, and they are wonderful. Wow. And yeah,
so true.
So thank you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Do you appreciate me? The way she's smiling. Do you appreciate me? Okay, sorry. We need to close. She's falling in love with me already. Let me go and retoast her. With this being said, we really want to appreciate everyone. We just want the smiles around the world. We do not want the world to just fizzle out because of our activities, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So before you do anything to Mother Earth, you can imagine they didn't even call the world Father Earth. They should have called this world Father Earth, but since they have decided to call it Mother Earth, please, let's make sure that we take permission from the women before we do anything to the world, because
that will solve a lot of problems.
Yes, probably somebody like the president of Russia. We need to consult his mom rather. We need to get across to him through his mom. Maybe the mom should be talking to him so that he can just allow the tension in that area to douse down. Okay, with that being said, we want to say thank you so very much, all of you that are taking your time out to listen to our Blabaloo.
No.
To our Blabaloo. I'm sure Dr. Ojo has added that to his dictionary now. Blabaloo.
Oh, I finally got what you guys are saying. Before we go, I must congratulate you guys, Lagosians. I saw your governor elect dancing and celebrating already.
After
it wasn't too worse than expected. So congratulations to the Lagosians for having your governor back. And not both.
Dr. Joe,
please, sir. Don't come to Lagos.
I want you to come to Lagos and say this.
If they catch you, sir,
there's nothing they can do to me. I grew up there. I know the every nook and cranny there. So what are you gonna do to me? I'm only gonna tell them the truth.
But funny enough, in every election, in every battle, there must be someone to win and there must be someone to lose. So we want to congratulate both those that won and those that feel that they have not won. We want to congratulate everyone.
Those that are lost, right? I have a job for them. Instead of taking that money to go and contest in court, bring that money, let's empower that youth. Because what they want to go and do, what they are trying to go and do in the government house, they can actually do it without going to the government house, and you get more respect and more dignity and even more freedom. So it's all about the mindset. What are you looking for? You're looking for a name. There are many places, there are many channels or many things you can do that can give you such a great name, right? Without actually chasing a position, 10 people chasing one position, right? It doesn't make no sense. So you could actually achieve the same respect, dignity, even more than the governor if they just use their brain. So there's no need to, it's good a contest, it's good but it's not the end of the road. It's not the end of the journey for their career and their ambition. They can actually put those policy and plan to use without wasting the time in court on the likes of this. And you can go to the court, whatever they get out of the court, but they still can utilize their skill and talent and their, resources to benefit themselves and their community without getting to a particular office. That's part of what I'm saying. Hopefully somebody can get that.
Wow. If you are listening to this, please pick up your pen and write it down. You do not need to be a public office holder before you affect your world. You can actually change the world, and the world will be begging you to continue doing what you are doing because you are turning the world around positively. Because I also ask myself this question: why is it that people are always fighting to serve? Why
they definitely do not want to serve.
That's not service. You're being served. Leadership is the ability to exceptionally serve humans with excellence, such that in return you gain their loyalty. So anything that is by coercion, it's not leadership. If you are really a leader, you would have served people exceptionally with excellence, that in return you will gain their loyalty. They will just be submissive to you. They will just be following you because you have really showed that you've served them par excellence. You've moved them from one level to another. You've improved their living standard. You've done everything for them. So they are the ones that will be loyal to you. They can defend you anywhere. But if you're a leader, you're not really serving, then you will be coercing people. You will want people to come and do this for you, come and do this. No, leadership is not about being served. It's about actually serving in the real sense with excellence that will bring loyalty. So, but that's not what we're saying now.
But let me tell you, everyone, as I bring this discussion to a close, because I can see the fire in my wife now. She wants to talk about leadership. But let me tell you, all politicians across the world, they are one
and same.
Take it from me. If you do not take it from me, sleep over it. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so very much. We appreciate you. We appreciate our sitting governor that has also returned.
And we pray they do things.
We pray that
will outlive them.
Yeah,
and trickle down.
If he doesn't continue to get better, I'll be one of the first person that will first say it publicly.
Sorry, your vote doesn't count.
I can even say it to his face too. What's it gonna do? I've never been afraid.
Dr. Joe, I've just told you the basic truth. Your vote doesn't count. Whether you vote or not, democracy in Africa is selection of the few by the few for the many.
So the youths that were playing ball on Saturday, they said, "Why are you not going to the polls?" He said, "The one I went to, the person I voted for." And there is no need. So far, they've decided who they will choose. Let them do it. I'm not going there.
It's fine. We leave them to do what they can do while we do what we can do. The collective action, right? When they are doing theirs, at the end of the day, we will see, who the universe is gonna support and favor, and right. So the good one will always find a way out, regardless of how tough situation may be, because the universe has a way of taking care of its own.
So people of the world, I'm not vying for political posts. What I'm just vying for is to touch the life of this youth. So if there is only one way you can vote for me to be able to do what I need to do in the life of this youth, please kindly go through our GoFundMe and vote. And vote wisely.
Vote by donating your dollars and pounds sterling so we can help
vote wisely, because you'll be so proud that you have voted for the right youth to be empowered in training, either as a vulcanizer, carpenter, hairstylist, photographer, whatever craft.
Inventors like these youths that we have that will make the world a better place.
Take your time, go through it. We really want to appreciate you. We have to go because our baby is crying. We want to go and do mother head.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Catch you next time.
Yeah.